Hello there my friends, hope you all are having a fantastic day right now. In this video we shall be looking at the while loop in Python and how it works. So let's get started. While loop is the second type of loops, the first being the for loop which we saw in the previous video. In while loops, unlike for loops, we do not iterate over a specific range, but we iterate based on a condition. That is, the statements under the while loop are executed until a particular condition becomes false. So till the condition is true, the statements are repeatedly executed. And let's quickly look at an example of the while loop to understand it better. So let's take the example that we considered in the previous video where we had to print the numbers from 0 to 7. So let me have a variable called I and set it to 0, which is the first number which we are going to print. And let's write while I not equal to 8, print I and I plus equals 1. So let me quickly explain what code does. I not equals 8 over here, and this is the termination condition, which means when I reaches 8, the loop's gonna get terminated. Otherwise, we are going to just print I and increment its value each time. So that's what this is going to do, and these indentation spaces indicate that these statements are under the influence of the while loop. So let's quickly see what this does. So you have the numbers from 1 to 7 as we wanted, and when the value of I reached 8, the loop terminated and that was the end of the program. So that's how the while loop works, and there's not much difference between the while loop and the for loop. Like, you could use the break, continue and pass statements, control statements along with the while loop as well. So let's quickly look at this. So break, so let's see what gets printed. So 0. After the first print statement, we encounter the break which broke out from the while loop. Next we have the continue statement. So if I equals 4, continue, and before that we'll also include this I plus equals 1. So what we have ideally done by writing this is that we are skipping the printing of 4. So let's run this to check it. So as you can see, 4 has not been printed. So now let's look at how we can use pass with the while loop. So let's say we don't want to print 4, and in such a case we would be using an if else pair inside this while loop. So if I equals 4, pass, else print. If I becomes 4, we are using the pass statement which transfers the control to I plus equals 1 without printing I. So 4 is not going to get printed. Let's run the program. As you can see, 4 is not being printed. So that's how pass works. So the last thing that we would be looking at is how to use the else keyword with the while loop. So let me get rid of all of this. So else print while completed successfully. So this else gets executed if and only if this condition right here becomes false, and that would become false if the while loop completes its execution till the very end without any breaks in the middle. So in this case, the while loop would be able to achieve that, so else will get executed. So we should see the message while completed successfully getting printed. However, if we have a break in the middle, then this condition never really becomes false, which indicates that this while was not successful in doing all of its iterations. This condition remains true throughout, and this doesn't get printed. So that's how it works. So 0. So that's how the else keyword can be used with the while loop. So that's it about while loop, and that completes loops in Python. So this was a fairly short video, and I'll end the video here. So bye for now, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.